obviously attribution is a huge challenge, right?
Yeah.
So multi-touch, single touch, first, last, you have all of those models that are out there. Uh, so my question would again be, so does Google Analytics and does any crazy eggs and all of those add value?
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for bringing that up. So for me, with your regular website metrics, you need to look at your return visits, how much time they're spending on the site, on the landing page, but then also coming back onto your main site, right? Those are some signals. Obviously, any direct conversions from the landing pages, we're going to be happy to receive, but do not panic if the conversion rate or the conversion volume is not high on the page itself, right? You just need to log and look at other places for signals of that consumption. How are you going to track consumption on a page? Yes, you're going to use a heat map tool. You can use any one of them. I'm very agnostic. Even today, someone's like, why are you using Hotjar? You should use Microsoft Clarity. I'm like, I don't care if it's heatmap.io. I don't care. If it gives you the data to show you click activity, hover activity, scroll activity, and where they're spending the most time and consuming the information on the page, I don't care what tool you use, right? So I have clients who use all across the board, and I'm happy to use all across the board, whatever they're using. But that heat map data is going to signal to you a lot of things that general website data is not going to do. And I'll give you an example of this. For a landing page that we created for a client, you know those blocks on a website that are tabbed? You know, it's like a very common block, very common. Yeah. And as a marketer or a website person, you're like, it's obvious. I would just click through that. It's not very obvious to every user. And I think that's where our bias and desensitization comes in. But in the heat map data, I saw we drove 2,000 sessions to this page. Not a single user clicked on a different tab. And the problem is that our entire value proposition for the product was in that block. So one of the first things that we did in optimizations is change that block. We had 5 value props in there, which were probably already too much. We consolidated into 3. We changed the block into a static on-page content block. And we already saw the traffic in response go up higher. So that specific page was like a 0.13% conversion rate, very low, went to a 3.14%. The scroll depth went from 30 to 50%. So more people were making it down to the page. So those are the signals that I look at. And those are things that you won't get unless you're looking at recordings, you're looking at where they're hovering, what are they reading, what are they selecting on that page. So I care more about how they're consuming information in B2B because that's what they need to make a decision, than how they're engaging with us, because that engagement will eventually come as long as they're consuming our information.